Bhakta Vrinda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivas Sadigo Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Go Premanandi. Jai Om Mr. Bhavam Sabhadaraj Akacharya Stoter Tatasi Simad A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Om Mr. Bhavam Sabhadaraj Akacharya Stoter Tatasi Simad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Anantakoti Vaishnavinda Ki ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasati Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shama Kun Radha Kun Giri Govardhan Ki Vrindavan Dham Ki Navadip Dham Ki Ganga Mai Ki Yamuna Mai Ki Tulasi Devi Ki Bhakti Devi Ki Samaveda Bhaktavrinda Ki Go Premanandi. All glorious assembled devotees. All glorious assembled devotees. All glorious assembled devotees. All glorious to Sisi Guru Gauranga.
Osh. At Singapore. Okay, don't repeat. Finish it one time. Sure.
Namaste Narasingaya Praladaladodaine Hiranyakashiporvakshaha Shilatanka Nokha नरसिंहो परतो नरसिंहो यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहो बहि नरसिंहो हृदये नरसिंहो नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपद्ये तव करकमलवरे नखाप अद्भुत शृङ्गार दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गा केशवजिता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 नरसिंह भगवान की प्रहलाद महाराज की श्री प्रभुपाद की और श्री गुरु ग्रंथ श्री प्रभुपाद की जय
Hare Krishna. Thank you all for coming. Everybody can move forward. We would like to welcome His Holiness Devamrita Swami Maharaj. He is our local GBC and senior disciple of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Has been a GBC in various areas like New Jersey, Gitanagari, New Zealand, and We are very honored to have him here. So let's welcome him with a loud Haribol! 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 Okay.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janaballabha Girid Bharatari Jai Gopi Janaballabha Girid Bharatari Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Gopi Jana Ballabha Girid Bharatari Jai Gopi Jana Ballabha Girid Bharatari Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Go Premanandi Om Jnana Chimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshun Militang Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Today we shall talk about wealth. Wealth that is natural, wealth that is artificial, and wealth that is eternal. First, let us discuss Brajadam, Gokul, where Krishna is having his Namakarana ceremony just after his childbirth. Of course, for Krishna, there's no birth, and you'll be hearing more about that as we approach Sri Krishna Janmashtami. Actually, for us, there is no birth. As Krishna himself explains in Bhagavad Gita, Najayate mriyate va kadachin. For the soul, there's no birth, no death. Natvevaham jatunasham natvam me janad. Never was there a time when you were not an individual, nor will there ever be a time when you're not an individual. You are the eternal spirit soul with individuality. So Krishna has just appeared in this world as an infant. And Nanda Maharaj in Braj is performing the most opulent name-giving ceremony, Mahotsava, celebration. The natural opulence of Vrindavan is flooding over. How is that natural opulence measured? In terms of milk, butter, curd, ghee, yogurt. Those are the riches of Vrindavan. In today's so-called civilized society, how far would such resources get you? During this celebration of giving Krishna his name, the residents of Nanda Maharaj's village had so much overabundance of milk products that they were throwing them on each other in celebration, smearing each other's bodies with butter, drenching the ground with yogurt, milk. The ground became so slippery because it was so flooded over that the Brajbasis were slipping on the ground. Still, they were rejoicing. They were celebrating, throwing curd and milk and yogurt here, there, everywhere on each other. And the charity that Nanda Maharaj gave to the Brahmanas to cement the good fortune of his son is inconceivable to us. How many millions of cows he gave. And each cow was decorated with silver-plated hooves, gold-plated horns, covered with cloths, with jewels embedded in the cloths. And he gave mountains of grains. And on top of the mountains of grains, there were cloths, again, inlaid with jewels. We can't conceive of that vast quantity of real natural resources. When we think of natural resources, we think of anything fossil fuel. We're so addicted to fossil fuels that we can call human beings today flesh-covered devices for extracting and burning fossil fuels. They have no knowledge of self-realization, no knowledge of Dharma. But yes, extracting fossil fuels and burning them, that's the human specialty today. And that is considered the most precious wealth. Nations will go to war over that so-called wealth. Where is the cobalt? Where's the lithium? These are considered vital necessities. But in Nanda Maharaj's village, everyone knows wealth means land and cows and milk products and grains. At the end of Bhagavad Gita, what does Krishna say? Krishi Gaurakshabanijam Vaishyakarma Swabhavajam. The duty of the Vaishyas, the mercantile class, is to Gauraksha, protect cows, and Krishi Raksha, protect the land. Balaram carries a plow. Why? Because he's for land protection. Krishna plays a flute. Why? Because Krishna is caring for the cows. So they're indicating by what they're carrying, by Krishna and Balaram carrying a plow and a flute, they're telling human society real wealth is based on taking care of the land and taking care of the cows. Nanda Maharaj's village overflowed with abundance. Gems, precious jewels, gold, silver. Does all that come because of human endeavor? No. Maya jakshena prakriti suyate characharam, Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita. Material nature works under the direction of Krishna. So as Queen Kunti prays in the first canto of Bhagavatam, my Lord, by your glance, material nature has provided such opulence. By your footprints walking on the earth is prospering. And we learn from the first canto of Bhagavatam, during the reign of Maharaj Yudhisthira, Kamam Bavarsha Parjanya Sarva Kama Dugamahi. The earth was muddy because of the milk of cows flowing freely everywhere. Nowadays, that would be considered a traffic disturbance. You get a warning on GPS on your car. Milk puddles on the road. But in real human culture, that the ground is flooded with milk, but the cows are pouring out of their udders because of affection. They've been treated affectionately. That is considered the sign of wonderful opulence. So then it was time for Nanda Maharaj to pay his annual taxes in Mathura. And to whom did he have to pay taxes to? Kamsa, the terrorist king. And how did Nanda Maharaj pay taxes? Credit card? No, he paid taxes with milk products. So he and his cowherd men loaded up ox carts with the natural wealth of milk products. And Nanda Maharaj thought, I don't want Kamsa causing any harm to my village, especially because my precious son, Krishna, is in this village. Besides the annual taxes paid through milk products, I'll add on top of that some gold coins, some cloth, some jewels, just to pacify Kamsa even more. Can you imagine saying to the IRS, I have some yogurt to pay for my taxes? You have some curd. So this wealth of Nanda Maharaj to us may sound very exotic. Some may think it's even primitive. Where are the stocks? Where are the bonds? Where's the cryptocurrency? But Vrindavan is not only showing you the glory of Krishna's pastimes, his leelas, but it's also showing you what is real human success. Because even though the Brijbasis are eternal associates of Krishna. They're acting in the role of human beings in order to make Krishna's pastimes sweeter. And Krishna himself plays as an ordinary human being in terms of behavior, but every once in a while he does something inconceivable. But most of the time in Vrindavan, Krishna is covering his inconceivable opulences and powers, and he's flooding all of Vrindavan with his sweetness, the Madhurya. Real wealth is eternal. The opulences of Vrindavan can't be taken away. They may be invisible to your vision, but they cannot be destroyed. Learning what to do with whatever meager opulence we have in this day and age requires Vaishnava guidance. Otherwise, whatever meager opulence we have will cause us so much problem. Let's talk about the case of Raghunath Das in Chaitanya Charitamrita. How many of you have read Chaitanya Charitamrita? Raise your hands, please. Oh, very few. You're missing the postgraduate studies. Bhagavatam is graduate study to Bhagavad Gita. Chaitanya Charitamrita is postgraduate study. And of course, Bhagavad Gita is the undergraduate study. So that's your whole curriculum. Take it and relish it to your full satisfaction and more. So Raghunath Das, this is approximately 500 years ago during the time of Lord Chaitanya's presence. Raghunath Das was just a young boy in a family that was of billionaire status. His father, Govardhan Majumdar, and his uncle, Hiranya Majumdar, they were like billionaires. And not only were they billionaires, but they supported practically all the brahmanas in the region of Nadia, in the Navadvip region. Ample charity they would give, land, villages, money. And money back then meant not paper currency, but gold coins. They would just give and give and give. Not only were they so generous, but they were also devotees. Govardhan Majumdar, Raghunath Das's father, would serve Advaita Acharya of the Pancha Tattva. Haridas Thakur, the Acharya of the holy name, Nam Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur. He would have home programs at the house of Raghunath Das. His father, Raghunath Das's father and uncle would stage home programs and invite Haridas Thakur to speak on the glories of the holy name. So the wealth was there on billionaire status, on the level of billionaires. And the spiritual focus of the family was obviously there. Otherwise, why would Haridas Thakur come if that was not the case? And the father personally serving Advaita Acharya. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivastava Gaura Bhaktavinda. You would think this is perfection. The money is there and the spiritual blessings are there. But Raghunath Das kept trying to run away from home, even as a young boy. Why? He wanted to live the life of extraordinary renunciation as an associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he kept trying to run away. But his father had so much wealth, his father assigned to watch over Raghunath Das 11 persons, 5 watchmen, 4 brahmanas, 4 personal servants rather, and 2 brahmanas to cook. Who here can do that for their son? 5 watchmen, 4 personal servants, just for a young boy. Where's Osh, the one who was singing? You have, where is he? You have 5 watchmen over you? 4 personal servants? 2 brahmanas to cook for you? Still, Raghunath Das kept trying to run away. And his father had such wealth and influence that even though Raghunath Das would get far away in a distant place, his father's team would catch him and bring him back home. You can just think your little son keeps running away to, let's say he gets as far as Philadelphia or Baltimore, and you have the resources to scan the whole territory and find him, and you have the manpower to locate him and bring him back. This went on practically every day. So you would say today, why would anyone want to leave such a home? The parents are devotees. They have money. They're dedicated to the service of the Brahmanas and the Vaishnavas. But Raghunath Das was indifferent to that kind of opulence. He wanted the personal association of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he would, in Shantipur, the home of Advaita Acharya, Raghunath Das would sometimes get the personal darshan of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and touch the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Of course, that made his desire to be an associate of Lord Chaitanya even more intense. One time, he heard Lord Chaitanya is going to be in Shantipur again. So Raghunath Das begged his father, please, please let me go see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If you don't let me, I'm going to give up my body. What's a father supposed to do? So the father said, all right, you can go. Make sure you come back quickly, and I'm going to send with you a whole team of servants, watchmen, all kinds of opulent resources will accompany you, and they'll all make sure that you come back. So finally, Raghunath Das made up his mind. I'm going to successfully run away. This is during one of his visits to Lord Chaitanya. I'm going to run away for good. No one's going to catch me this time. And Lord Chaitanya, being omniscient, being the super soul in everyone's heart, told him, why are you acting like a madman? Be patient. Be strategic. Why are you so eager for external displays of renunciation? In your situation, you should start acting just like an ordinary person, while within your heart always have the desire to serve Radha and Krishna. But externally, act like a business person. Your father's a business person, you act like one too. But in your heart, always long for the service of Sri Sri Radha and Krishna. Don't be a victim of artificial displays of renunciation. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains something very wonderful. He says that you may have the external profile of a Pukka Brahmana. Think of like a South Indian Brahmana. all the on the arms, wearing the thing on and the wooden shoes and everything, super pucka. And then think of someone who looks like an ordinary business person, corporate executive. So Srila Prabhupada writes in his purport that if the desire in the heart is simply to serve Krishna, both persons are equal. The one who looks like externally he's just doing ordinary affairs, and the one who externally has all the Vedic markings, all the Vedic trappings, they both are the same. I remember as a young devotee in the Brooklyn Temple in New York, 72, 73, every morning for the full morning program, we would see in Dhoti and Kurta, Gopal Krishna Prabhu. Every morning, a full morning program, Dhoti, Kurta. Then, as soon as Bhagavatam class was over, 8:30, you would see him with his suit on and tie, going to do his marketing executive job with Pepsi Cola. So we always wondered, who is this person? Why does he put on a suit and tie at 8:30 after wearing a dhoti kurta all morning? So sometimes devotees would mistakenly think that he was not an advanced devotee. And sometimes devotees would say to him, when are you going to drop those activities, drop your job, be a real devotee, live in the ashram like us? So he wrote Srila Prabhupada that, should I do that? Should I quit my job? These devotees are saying like that if I should be like them, take up their circumstances, and then I'll be a real devotee. Prabhupada wrote back, you're doing as much service as them. Don't quit your job. And of course, when the time was right, Prabhupada called him around 1975 to India to take charge of the activities in India, and he became Gopal Krishna Goswami. So there's an example. From the outside, it looks like just a marketing executive who does some pious activities by going to the Mangal Arti. But in the heart, you have someone who is always thinking how to serve Krishna. So that was Lord Chaitanya's advice to Raghunath Das. Stop all this running away from home without careful thinking. Now, it's not that Lord Chaitanya said, just stay at home forever. He said, wait. Just be cool and calm, be strategic. And when the right time comes, Krishna will give you the intelligence how to make a trick and get away from home for good. But meanwhile, just very strategically, very tactfully, do your household affairs, help your father with his business. So sometimes when we hear this history of Raghunath Das, which is in Chaitanya Charitamrita, we think, oh, Lord Chaitanya is saying everyone should simply stay forever in their household situation and never leave it. No, Lord Chaitanya is telling him. And he's specifically telling this to Raghunath Das because everyone's an individual and everyone has different circumstances. So Lord Chaitanya told him, conduct yourself like a regular person externally, but inside, simply have the desire to serve Krishna. And the right time will come. Be strategic. Don't be so impatient, rashly running away all the time, creating a disturbance. As if you must externally show renunciation right now. What about what's going on in your heart? That's where the real action is. So Raghunath Das did that. And what was the effect? His parents slackened the guard. They reduced the guard. Raghunath Das showed such managemental expertise following Lord Chaitanya's instruction that he helped his father and uncle out of a big jam, a big oppressive situation with a Muslim tax collector. A Muslim tax collector thought that Raghunath Das's father and uncle had usurped his position and taken over the tax collecting roles and were keeping too much money for themselves and not turning over the proper share of revenue to the king. So the Muslim tax collector arranged to have Raghunath Das's father and uncle arrested. But Raghunath Das hid his father and uncle and stayed at home, and he was captured by the Muslim tax collector and put in prison. And every day the Muslim tax collector was threatening, I'm going to beat you, I'm going to beat you. Where's your father? Where's your uncle? I want the money. Where are they? But he threatened to beat Raghunath Das, but he was afraid to do that because Raghunath Das was so popular, such a popular young man amongst the people. The tax collector was afraid of stirring up some kind of uprising. So he would just threaten, I'm going to beat you, I'm going to beat you. And then Raghunath Das adopted a very similar strategy to Sanatana Goswami. Remember what happened when Sanatana Goswami was imprisoned? Both Sanatana and Raghunath, as you know, became members of the famous 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. But Sanatana was imprisoned by the Nawab because he wasn't coming to the office anymore. Sanatana, before becoming an associate of Lord Chaitanya externally, he's an eternal associate, but before it manifested externally, he was practically the prime minister under the Nawab. While the Nawab Hussain Shah was going out plundering, robbing, pillaging, it was Sanatana who was taking care of the management of the government. But Sanatana wanted to join Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just as his brother Rupa had already done. So he stopped reporting to the office, so to speak. And he wasn't a remote worker either. What was he doing at home? He had a team of brahmanas who would recite Srimad Bhagavatam day and night. And so he reported in sick to work. He's the prime minister and he's not going to the office. He reported that I'm sick. So finally the Nawab sent his personal royal physician to go check on Sanatana. And the royal physician reported back to the Nawab, he's in perfect health. He's just surrounded by sadhus hearing this Shastra. So the Nawab was very angry, and he himself went to interrogate Sanatana. What are you doing? How can you be like this? You're supposed to be running the whole government while I'm out pillaging and rampaging. You're like my brother. I rely on you for your support. Aren't you going to come back to your ministry, to your prime minister post? And Sanatana flatly told him, you can do whatever you like, and everyone else does whatever they like. Meaning, I'm not coming back. So then Nawab was very angry and stormed out. And he went off to conquer, to pillage, to rampage. And he had his assistants arrest Sanatana, put him in prison. So Sanatana got word from Rupa, his brother, that his brother had left a stash of gold coins with a grocer. That was the banking system back then. You leave your gold coins with a grocer for safekeeping. So he told Sanatana in a letter, you can utilize that money in order to get out of prison. That means using the money to what? To bribe. So Sanatan stacked some gold coins in front of the jailkeeper and said, do a pious activity, let me out, and so that I can pursue a career as a mendicant. I'll be going to Mecca to make a pilgrimage. Let me out. The jailkeeper, the Muslim jailkeeper, was sympathetic. Yes, I know you've been a top man in the government. I'd like to help you. And you say you're going out of prison. If I let you out, you'll go on a pilgrimage to Mecca. But how will I explain this to the Nawab? So then Sanatan, showing you how expert a Vaishnava is, because sometimes people think a Krishna Bhakta, a Krishna devotee, is sentimental, has no practical abilities, can't conduct worldly affairs, and became a devotee just because of being a material failure. So Sanatan was so expert a diplomat. He saw that the jailkeeper was hesitating. So he took more gold coins and stacked them in front of him and said, here you can have more, and here's a story you can tell the Nawab. Tell him that you let me out in chains so I could go to the bank of the Ganga to pass stool. But what did I do when I got to the bank of the Ganga in chains? I jumped in, and because of the chains, I drowned myself. You can tell the Nawab that. So the jailkeeper looked at the gold coins, heard that story. You're free. So in that way, Sanatan went on his way to meet Lord Chaitanya. So Raghunath Das had similar abilities. Even though in his heart is always the desire to serve Radha and Krishna, that doesn't mean he's impractical or sentimentalist or inept. Raghunath Das said to the Muslim tax collector, you know, actually, you and my father and uncle are like brothers. And he was speaking, Raghunath Das was speaking with such humility. He was being crafty, being diplomatic, but with real humility. How those two combine is hard for us to understand. Because generally when you're being crafty and diplomatic, you feel that you're superior. But Raghunath Das had that natural Vaishnava humility, that while manipulating the situation, he was still humble. Inconceivable, isn't it? My father, my uncle, and you are like brothers. You know, sometimes brothers fight, and sometimes they're nice to each other. You never know which day is going to be what. Since you and my father and uncle are like brothers, you know what that means? I'm like your son. And that means, since I'm like your son, you're my maintainer. I'm your dependent. The jailkeeper, the tax collector's heart was melted, and he began to cry, and the tears would flow down his beard. And he said, I'll let you go, but there's just one small item we should consider. Your father and your uncle, they've collected so much money. Shouldn't a little bit of that money come my way? But he said, whatever amount they decide, I'll leave up to them. I'll leave the whole decision up to them if they want to give anything or not. So Raghunath Das arranged for the Muslim tax collector to get a bit, and his father and uncle could come out of hiding. So this is how expert Raghunath Das was in handling external affairs on the order of Lord Chaitanya. So naturally, his father and uncle felt so indebted. Oh, at last our son is calming down. He's showing brilliant executive talent, crisis management. So they relaxed. Raghunath Das's parents relaxed. And then he started after 1 year running away again every day. And every day they would capture him. The team would capture him and bring him back home. So you can just visualize, as described in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Raghunath Das's mother appealing to her husband, "Can't you do something about this? Why don't you?" Now this is the mother talking about her son, talking to her husband, Raghunath Das's father. "Why don't you tie him up with ropes?" Can you imagine a mother saying that about her son? I see Nitai Prem Devi shaking her head. Can you imagine her saying to her husband, Gaur Prem, about their son, Krishna Prem, "Tie him up with ropes"? But that's how desperate the parents were. They couldn't understand. He's running away every day. He's got such brilliant business talent. And this is what he's doing. Tie him up with ropes. And what did her husband reply? "He's got wealth like Indra. He's got a wife who's as beautiful as an angel. If that doesn't tie his mind down, I don't know what will." There's nothing we can do to stop this. He's a madman for Chaitanya Chandra. There's nothing we can do. So indeed, as you know, Raghunath Das got his opportunity to run away and successfully join Lord Chaitanya in Jagannath Puri. But the point is, even though he had externally so much wealth, and his father and uncle were using that wealth in the service of the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, Raghunath Das wanted a different kind of wealth. He wanted to be a personal associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Whereas his father and uncle had another kind of wealth, even though they were using that wealth in the service of the Vaishnavas, but Raghunath Das, the son, wanted the wealth, the Sangha of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates. Our real wealth is association with devotees. Our real wealth is devotional service. How do you know whether you should be like Raghunath Das or be externally like an ordinary business person, business lady, but in your heart have no other desire than to serve Krishna? How do we know? That's why the guidance of Lord Chaitanya and your spiritual master is necessary. Everyone is different in terms of what Krishna wants from that person. Just like the story I told about His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, when he was Adhikari, when he was married. Everyone was saying to him, quit your job, do some real service. But Prabhupada said, no, don't quit your job. He's saying exactly similar to what Lord Chaitanya told Raghunath. The right time will come. Just wait. So we should think how to have a strategic plan for our personal bhakti development. What is our plan to get real wealth while using whatever wealth we have now in Krishna's service? What is our overall plan? How are we going to proceed patiently and intelligently to engage everything in Krishna's service and to put ourselves in the most advantageous position for serving Krishna? That requires deliberation and guidance. And that guidance itself is also another kind of bhakti wealth. So more and more we should be thinking of the kind of wealth that you can't take with you and the kind of wealth you can take with you. Your finances, your properties, your investments, you can't take it with you after death. But you can take with you the wealth of bhakti, the association of devotees, the guidance of the Vaishnavas, devotional service, that is your eternal asset. One last story. Kolavecha Sridhar in Gaura Lila. He was demonstrating utmost poverty, material poverty in bhakti. He would maintain himself by selling cups made of banana leaves. And he wouldn't even use all that meager money he made from selling banana cup leaves. He wouldn't even use that all for himself. He would spend 50% of that on the worship of the Ganga. So he would have a stand, and there were his products, banana leaf cups. And who would come by to his stand every day? Nimai Pandit, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Everyone in the Navadvip area knew Kolavecha Sridhar, you don't bargain with him. His first price is the fair price. Everyone knew that. But Nimai Pandit wouldn't accept that. He would haggle with Kolavecha Sridhar. Cheaper price, cheaper price. And Kolavecha Sridhar would please, 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 everyone knows the price I give is so fair, please. Still, Nimai Pandit would say, no, no, you're asking too much money. Finally, Nimai Pandit would grab some banana leaf cups and try to get away. And Kolavecha Sridhar would grab him and hold on to him and was wondering, why am I feeling such an ocean of bliss by holding on to him and grabbing him? What's going on here? Finally, during the Mahaprakash, when Lord Chaitanya was revealing all his glories, he asked for Kolavecha Sridhar to come. And he explained to Kolavecha Sridhar, you think you're poverty-stricken, but I know you're the wealthiest person in the world. Why is he the wealthiest person in the world? Because he has pure bhakti. His neighbors couldn't understand him. All night long, Kolavecha Sridhar would be chanting the Hare Krishna mantra loudly, and the neighbors thought, oh, he's feeling hunger pangs. He has no money for food. Meanwhile, Kolavecha Sridhar is demonstrating the real wealth, the Hare Krishna mantra devotional service. When he saw Lord Chaitanya in Lord Chaitanya's full glories, Lord Chaitanya said, you can have whatever you want. You want to be king? You want to be ruler? What do you want? All material benedictions can be yours. And Kolavecha Sridhar just said, I simply want to be your servant eternally. So please think about these great examples from the Shastra and consider, make your plan, your strategic plan for how to patiently and intelligently progress in bhakti. As I often point out, bhakti it's a career. Just like you give such careful thought to becoming a chartered accountant or a medical doctor, pass the bar exams, become a lawyer. Similarly, you should have a plan how to advance in bhakti. That advancement you will not lose at the time of death. All right, any questions? Yes.
I have a question, like, what is the difference between natural world and the artificial world? Because both are not eternal, both get taken away at some time and point.
Both what?
Both natural world and the artificial world both get taken away at some point or the temporary both. So why are
He's asking about the natural world and the artificial world. Natural world, normal world is devotional service.
I meant wealth?
Natural wealth and artificial wealth. Natural wealth, Krishna Bhakti. You're talking about that as natural wealth? Or you're talking about the milk products and the ghee and the curd? By taking care of Krishna's cows, you please Krishna. Some people keep dogs and cats, but Krishna keeps cows. Much more beneficial. Maybe one day here, you'll have a farm with land, growing food, eventually cows. That's real wealth. I was discussing with your temple president, Madhupati Prabhu, how now in the intelligent media, whatever is left of it, they're talking about food shortages or food becoming so expensive. All this crazy weather is not for nothing. It affects the food supply. And when the food supply is affected, that means what you get at the supermarket is affected in terms of whether it's there or not or how much you pay. So Prabhupada's vision was that every temple should be associated with a farm. That was his plan. The farm, the rural-urban connection. So more and more, due to the pressure coming from material nature oppressing, more and more people are going to be food conscious. Where is the food? So you're asking about that kind of wealth. Yes, that is so important. People have forgotten where food comes from. They think it comes from the supermarket. Did you know in the year 1900 what the percentage of Americans was that worked on farms? Anyone know? 38% of the population worked on farms 120 years ago. And you know what it is now? 1.2%. Srila Prabhupada always commented about how there's so much vacant land, maybe not where you live, but in the whole USA, so much vacant land, there shouldn't be any employment problem. People should grow food. I remember as a little boy growing up in New York City. New Jersey was not simply known as the Garden State, it was the Garden State. Now it's on your plates on your car, but the Garden State, but then you have the Garden State Parkway. But there was gardens everywhere. As a little boy, I used to go to my relatives in South Jersey and pick blueberries. Make money that way. That's what my mother told me. You want to do better than that? Make money by studying. Get scholarships. Oh, I said, that sounds much better than picking blueberries. But that was New Jersey, the Garden State. So now, of course, everything is built up, developed. And New Jersey is the bedroom community for New York. Work in New York and come back to Jersey to sleep. In the morning, go back to New York. There's a better way of life than that. But most people think that farming is for unintelligent persons. Actually, farming naturally requires lots of intelligence to cooperate with nature. So on Srila Prabhupada's last trip to the West, before he left this world, he, as you know, left India and flew to London. We know that at London he turned around and went back to Vrindavan to depart from this world. But his intention was to go from London to the Gita Nagari farm and stay there. And he said, I want to stay there and show how to live off the land and how to develop Varnashram Dharma. So that was his intent. You see, in Varnashram Dharma, in classic Vedic society, the classic system, only one sector Only one sector, one segment of society is concerned with economic development. That's the Vaishyas. Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Sudras, they're not worried about directly making money. But now everyone has to worry about making money. That's not a real human society. So how to get from where we are now to a real human society? That'll take a lot of chanting Hare Krishna. So let us end by Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, please be seated. So let's thank Maharaj, Devamrita Swami Maharaj, for real wealth. Take up Krishna consciousness seriously. Make a plan. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Thank you all for joining. Anybody coming first time today? Can you stand up? I think there are. Okay, thank you very much. We'll give you a token of gift. Today's Sunday feast is sponsored by two families. Two birthdays are there. One is Paramananda Chaitanya Prabhu for his son Siddhanta Prabhu's birthday. He is seeking Vaishnava's blessings for his son. So let us bless him with loud Haribol. Paramananda Prabhu is here. Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. And then we have Sapna Shinde Mataji and Mahesh Jadhav Prabhu. Their daughter Adya's birthday. Are they here? Yeah, cake is here. You can come forward. Then collect the gift also from Maharaj. Yeah. Please come forward, both of.
The whole bag.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. For you.
My son.
Yeah. Oh,
My son Siddhant. My son.
Yeah.
His birthday.
Very
cut the
good.
cake.
How old?
He's 26.
26.
He'll be 27 after this year.
All right. Hare Krishna.
Krishna to you, Hare Krishna to you, Hare Krishna dear, Hare Krishna to you, Hare Rama to you, Hare Rama to you, Hare Rama dear, yeah, Hare Krishna. Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
August 11th is Sunday, Oak Tree Road Radhayatra. So part of the Independence Day parade. So 2 to 5 p.m. or 4:30 p.m. Around 4 o'clock or so, prasadam will be served at 95